All right, so this video is going to be doing a proposal to purchase, preparing one through Dotloop. I've already done a video on creating the loop. That is on the YouTube channel and in the Facebook group as well. So this one will be on preparing the proposal to purchase. So get yourself into Dotloop, and the first thing you're going to do, click on Add Loop. Now, up here, guys, the property should already be in the MLS, so it already has an address or MLS number. If you put that in there, it's going to ask you to import the data from that specific listing. That's important because it'll pull in some information about the property, but it'll also pull in the listing agent's information as well, and I'll show you where that's going to be important. For this training purposes, I'm not going to use one that's in the MLS. I will use a different address. I'm going to tell you who lives here, though, so you don't come and stalk me. Okay, so plug in the address, click on Continue, pick the loop that you're in, the loop template, working with a buyer, so we're in buying template. Continue. You don't need to put a photo in there, and then done. Now the next thing you're gonna do is go to click on View Loop, and this is where you can add the parties, and you're gonna be able to add your buyer's information in here, so you can send everything out to them. So scroll down to People. You're gonna click on, now if you've imported the data from the MLS, you will also see, you'll see yourself in here, and you will also see the listing agent's information that already should be in here. Make sure the email address is in there because you're going to share this information out. You're going to share the proposal and the proof of funds or approval letter from this loop. But you need to add your buyer, so you're going to click on Add Person, start typing in their name, put in their email, and then the role, they're going to be buyer, and then this screen will pop up so you can start adding all their information: street number, street name, city, state, zip, cell phone, and then you'll click on Add Person once you have all that in there. Okay, and then when you're done, you'll have something else that says Save, and then another box will pop up saying you added successfully. So once you have your parties in here and your buyers in here, then you go back up. You're in the buying document folder. By the way, as there are different folders here for a reason, so you don't have one huge long list of all these documents. So when you're in the buying stage, whether it's your buyer agency, the CIS, put that in your buying documents. Once you get to the point that you have an actual ratified contract, and then everything else from there on will be under the contract documents file. So we're going to add document. I'm going to go to templates, back down to buying documents, and then scroll on down until you get to the proposal to purchase. Did I just go by that? The proposal to purchase. Final walkthrough. There we go. All right. Check the document that you need and click on copy, and that will import it and put it into the loop. Now, you're also going to want to put the buyer's proof of funds or the approval letter in there as well, which should be on your computer, your desktop, some kind of Google file or something, or Dropbox, whatever it is that you use. Click on Browse. That'll take you to there, and then you can add whatever it is you need to add. So the proof of funds is there, and you can send it direct from here. Next thing, click on Proposal to Purchase, and you're going to have this box pop up. Excuse me, that will have you put in the information. So you're going to select the buyer's information as being buyer 1 and buyer 2. If you have them, drop that down. You already have the address, should be in there at that point. Mansfield Boulevard, okay. Now, included and excluded, I can tell you this, be very specific when you're dealing with the inclusions and exclusions. Please do not, hey Antlers, how you doing? Please do not just put as per MLS, because we obviously know things are left out in the MLS. So be very specific when you're dealing with what the inclusions and exclusions are. So this is where I will put washer, dryer, refrigerator, and whatever else people are going to take with them. Area, rugs, and grill, that's fine, okay? And then click on autofill, and it'll put some of the info and data in there. First thing, make sure all your information up here is correct. Then you're going to go down to date. It's the date we're putting in the offer. Buyer's name. Here, buyer's address. And this is the property address of the property you're putting the offer in on. All right. Next thing, what price are you offering? We're going to offer $300,000. Initial deposit, we're going to put down $5,000, however much that it is, guys. Your mortgage amount here is how much they're going to mortgage. So let's just say for this purpose, it's going to be $300,000 with an FHA mortgage, 3.5% down. So the mortgage amount is going to be $289,500. Now, these numbers here in these boxes sometimes throw some people off, and I get it, but you're basically doing simple math and subtracting here everything from your initial price that is offered. So you take the $5,000 away from there, the $289,500, and you are left with $5,500, okay? And that's going to be the balance that's paid at closing. That's how we're doing the math here. Proposed settlement date. This is important here to have a conversation with the buyer's lender, because if you're going to pick something that's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks out, whatever it is, you got to make sure that the buyer's lender can hit that date. So if I pick March 5th, I'm going to talk to that lender, give him a call before I'm putting in this offer and say, hey, look, we're putting in a closing date of March 5th, because I got to make sure he can hit that. Because if I'm doing that, you got to understand that there's going to be a mortgage commitment date that's in the contract that we need to be able to hit. And if the mortgage commitment date in the contract can't be hit, then the contract can be terminated if it's not hit. So it's very important that you have that open line of communication with the buyer's lender to make sure we're hitting the dates in there. Okay? So down here, I'm going to check off what kind of financing that they're getting. For this training purpose, it will be FHA. We also have the options in here for VA, conventional, other, which is if someone's going to be using USDA, or if it's cash, or if someone's doing private financing. The number that goes in this box over here is how much they are financing. We know it's going to be $289,500. Down here, this part is if someone's dealing with an assumption of a mortgage. We're really not dealing with that now because the interest rates are so low, so you should not have to worry about that at all. Down here is dealing with the contingency. Is the buyer contingent on the sale of their property? If they are not, we're checking off this box. If they are contingent and their property is currently under contract, we check off this box and put in the buyer's home address here, okay? And that states that their property is currently under contract, and then once everything's signed, you can get them, the listing agent, a copy of the contract on their property. Now, if the buyer is contingent and their home is not under contract right now, then we have this box. Same thing, check that off, put in your buyer's home address, okay? Down here, make sure this is accurate. Washer, dryer, refrigerator, air rugs, and grill. Make sure it's accurate what is included and what is excluded in with your offer. Down here for inspections, this is what the buyer is going to be taking care of. They'll be taking care of the termite inspection. They'll be taking care of a home inspection. If the property has a septic, they'll be taking care of the septic inspection. If there's a basement or crawl space and they're doing a radon, just put in a radon inspection here, okay? If there's well water on the property, I'll check this off so the seller takes care of the well test. Now, only time we're going to check something off over here is if the buyer's going with a VA mortgage or you negotiate something else out. But if the buyer's getting a VA mortgage, the buyer cannot pay for that termite inspection. So you would check this off here for the seller to pay for that termite inspection. Okay? Next, over here, you put in your name, and you are the buyer's agent for this transaction. Over here, as far as the number of days they have to get back to you, I mean, you know, this really doesn't mean a whole lot here because, look, if you put 2 days in here and the buyer or the seller doesn't get back to you within 2 days, I highly doubt your seller is going to pull the offer, especially considering how things are with this marketplace right now. But I would typically put in 2 days. Now, additional remarks, this is where you'll put in if the seller is going to pay for some closing costs, seller to pay, or if they're giving a concession, pay $5,000 towards buyer's, sorry for the spelling, buyer's closing costs at time of settlement. And that's pretty much how you're going to word that, guys, okay? At time of settlement, or if they're paying for a home warranty, seller to provide buyer 1 year home warranty at time of settlement. But anything that maybe not be covered up above, you can type in here, okay? Make sure you have the signature parts right here. As long as you're inputting your buyer's information, it should be here for the signature lines for your buyer. And once that's done, you can click on save and share or just save. Now, if you click on save and share, next box that pops up is that there will be a box that pops up here with the people that you're sending it out to, okay? Excuse me. You're sending it out to your buyer. Their names will pop up here. You check off, there will be a box over here, check off their name, and then there will be some options over here as far as if they can edit, if they can sign only, if they can view and edit the document, and check off the sign only because you don't want the buyer editing it. You want people editing things without you knowing about it. So sign only, and then once that's done, you'll hit share and it'll go out to them. And that is preparing the proposal to purchase. Now, once it's signed by the buyer and it comes back to you, okay, you will get a notification about that. And then when you come back into that loop, you'll be able to come back in here and send it directly to the listing agent from your loop, whether if it's on your desktop, laptop, tablet, or your phone if you're using the app. okay? So basically what you'll do is you check off this box, you hit share, and then another box will pop open that will have the listing agent in here, and their email will be there. Send it to them for view only. You do not want to give the listing agent the ability to edit the document as well. And then once that's done, you hit share, and it goes out to the listing agent, and you're all done. All right? If you guys have any questions on this, please reach out to me and let me know.